Hello, everyone. Happy Friday. Good morning. Hello, Laura. Hello, Rachel. Hello, hello, hello. How's everybody doing today? It's the weekend, or almost the weekend. Who could ask for anything more? Well, I'm sure we could ask for more, but at least it's Friday. Hello, Meme. How you doing, buddy? I'm doing good. I'm glad it's the weekend too. This has been it's been a long week. Although I feel like every week is long. So, what do I know? It's quiet here today. Wonder if everyone started their weekends early. We're just all busy. It is the beginning of June. Things start getting busy now. They're going away, taking vacations, all that stuff. I'm so ready for the weekend. It's supposed to get rain tomorrow. Heck yeah. I was watching a report talking about how bad droughting is across the country, especially on the western side of the country. This is going to be a rough summer for everybody, I think, unfortunately. Morning, Clara. Like the Colorado Basin. Vacation? What's that? I went to Walmart. Does that count? Yeah. Yes. 100% counts. I mean, arguably, that's part of the problem, right, Meme? Is many, too many, in my opinion, in this country are still kind of living like nothing has really changed. And arguably I can understand it. We very much, I think we're all dealing with some level of mental health issues because of what's going on in this country. So finding happiness wherever you can. But also at some point we have to do things differently if we want stuff to change. So it's rough. It's hard. Yes, make sure you hit that thumbs up. Every day I try and find what stories to talk about. And again, it's like I try and look up the stories that have happened in the last 24 hours, and the frustrating thing is the stories that happened in the last 24 hours are the same stories that were 24 hours ago. Like there's not many new ones. Learning to ground yourself is hard. Learning to ground yourself when so much pain is happening is hard. Again, this is why you see a lot of people saying, I don't do politics. Because for so many of us, even me at times, I feel like there are issues that I'm just like, I don't know where to go from here. Like I'm unwilling to say that everything's fine or everything's going to be okay. But at the same point, I'm like, are we just going around in circles too? And is that helping our mental health? Like we need to keep talking about it, but also at some point we need to realize that we're also hurting ourselves. And how do we move forward from that? I'm afraid to spend $1. I don't have to. Yeah. It's hard to look away from the car accident. Yep. For sure. 100%. Yeah, and I don't think I don't think I don't think it's clicking with people what kind of trouble we're going to be in as a country. Like I don't think it's clicking how much money this administration is spending and stuff that it's stopped spending, how much those things. Like remember how I talked about the was it the screw worm yesterday? Found out that there was a group whose sole responsibility was keep preventing the spread of screwworm into the United States. Guess what administration shut them down because they felt it wasn't necessary? I'll give you 3 guesses, and the first 2 don't matter. Right. But Biden. Right, Philip. But Biden. Think you think beef prices are high now? Wait until we potentially have a shortage of beef because of screwworm. It also makes me wonder if, you know, how we keep hearing that spending is the same or has gone up. It makes me wonder if the reason it seems that way is people are spending more because of how depressed they are. Like, if that makes sense. Wonder if it has any connection to importing Argentinian cows too. I doubt it. I mean, I guess anything is possible. The screwworm, from my understanding, is something that coming over from Mexico, most likely, because they're dealing with it there. the shortage because of drought too. Yep. Yeah. What did I read? The Colorado Basin is going to be at 13% its normal volume this summer. 13%. I don't think people realize how bad that is. Like in certain areas in the United States, people are being told to take one shower, to like wear your clothes for 3 days and shower like once a week. Well, price increase definitely is part of it too. But like, well, that's why it's going to be at 13%, because they don't have the melt. That is the exact reason why. Quiet day today. Who thinks that TikTok is going to be this quiet? I mean, I guess it could be. The amount of snowpack is horrible. Yeah. Thank goodness climate change isn't a thing. I know. But, you know, at least we're going to get a ballroom and an Arc de Triomphe. Those are so much better. Those are so much more important. And a UFC fighting rink. Those are so much more important than making sure people have water. I mean, I understand, Philip, but in the same respect, I feel like that's not worth crashing out on. That's just, you know, that's what we can expect. But that's easy to say for me, I guess. Hey, Wendy. I agree, Philip. I agree. At least 1 or 2 UFC fighters actually came out calling against the fact that they're building this fighting rink at, or fighting whatever at the White House. I'm worried about everyone having food availability. Like, I don't think people realize how big this drought is going to hurt all of America. I mean, yeah, the rich are going to be able to afford to pay the big prices, but we're just going to have a shortage. Like, it's not even going to be an affordability thing. There just isn't going to be as much food. Farms are not going to produce as much food because of lack of fertilizer, because of lack of water. I saw someone compare the structure that has been placed at the White House to an infant playset. Yeah, it looks pretty dumb. That is one thing I'm not looking forward to seeing when I go to DC, is have to see that monstrosity. Well, I mean, and Clara, here's the thing. And, I can't say what it's going to be there. I think the problem we're going to have nationwide is even people's gardens are going to fail because there's just not going to be water availability to water your own gardens, let alone have these farms be able to water theirs. That's an unfortunate reality. Not even letting the fruits and veggies ripen. Got a sack of yellow onion that were damn near white, and the bell peppers were looking crazy. Yeah. I wish I could say there was an easy answer to any of this. And unfortunately, the answer is no, there's not an easy answer to any of this. I've been researching the best foods that I can put up and have best nutritional value. And that's awesome. I say, if you have that capability, go for it. I just think one of the problems that we as a country are going to have is even people's personal gardens are going to be suffering from this, which is a completely different, I mean, it's a different struggle. We're going to eat less, then I want better foods, kind of like sweet potatoes rather than red potatoes. That's fair. That's awesome. I say go for it. I think we're all going to be looking at the more drought resistant foods as time goes on. Things like almonds, those are going to drastically reduce. For no other reason than they absolutely have to, unfortunately. I wanted to put in a garden, but it's been too dry around here for almost a year. Yeah. Yep. Like I said, when they're telling people to wear clothes like 3 days before washing it in some areas in the United States because of how little water there is, because how much drought there is, that's frightening. That's frightening. And everyone should be frightened about that. Morning, Stella. How are you? Why does Kennedy want everyone's health records, and can we sue if he gets them? That's a good question. I don't know the answer to that. Popping in for a few minutes. Gotta take my granddaughter to work shortly. No worries. Appreciate you dropping in. What's up, Shane? Thank you, guys. Hey, Vonda. How are you, my friend? Friday, always good. This week has been a long week, so I'm definitely looking forward to this Friday a little bit more than maybe others. For sure. It's not that. I honestly don't know if any amount of quote unquote downtime is going to help with what's going on. I have actually found that when I take time away, coming back is harder. Not that I don't need to take time away, but I found like too much time away actually makes coming back harder. Morning, DRD. You just found your way out of Atlanta airport? Heck yeah, congratulations, Linda. Morning, Aaron. Morning, Penelope. Only took at least 30 minutes. Dang. Your company lost 5 contracts because of him. A lot of companies lost contracts, and the only people that are getting money now are ultra wealthy. or his friends. Literally never been so corrupt of a politician as that man. Anyone pay attention to what's happening in Albania? Yeah, how the Albanians are going absolutely apeshit because Kushner and Ivanka are trying to build a what is it, a 10,000 room resort on a basically a protected island. Yeah. Have a good credit rating, was denied a credit increase at Lowe's. Well, now the anti-corruption department in the Albania's government is looking into how. Yeah. You're right. They found it. Nobody knew about it in the Mediterranean. Which is hilarious. They found and went after the house of the guy who allowed it. Yeah, I mean, we'll see what happens. I don't think it's going to get built. I can't imagine anyone would want to work with anyone associated with that name anymore. That is not going to be a name you're going to want to be associated with. There's ancient Greek ruins, World War II bunkers, and endangered species on that island. Yeah. Morning, Lonzo. I guess they got to spend all their billions they make. True. True. Hmm. Return our money? You understand I'm a taxpayer, right? I have as much skin in the game as you do. I don't know why you think I don't. I don't care what party you're associated with. I don't care what group you associate with. You steal, you should go to prison. for some reason, you guys don't have the ability to see the corruption on your side, and all you do is blame everybody else. Economy is not doing great. So, okay, let's put it this way. Say you get a job, 15 bucks an hour, $30,000 a year. You have a job, still can't afford anything. National average is 71K. Yeah, take out the top like 10% and that number drops significantly. Like massively. Again, there's a difference between having a place to work and being able to afford to survive. That's why you guys love which part is crashing. The key indicators are crushing it. Nope. People's ability to afford to survive is crashing. Most of the country is living paycheck to paycheck or worse. That's not crushing it. Not to mention, cost of living is as it stands. If things keep going the way they're going right now, in about a month, cost of living is going to go up even more. When the people with all the money are the ones that keep buying the stocks, that's not the economy. That's not a majority of the economy. They're paying literally, you've got the people with the most wealth playing with monopoly money. It's not even real money. My personal favorite is them wanting to invest our social security money into the stock market and in Musk stocks. Yeah. Right. Taxation is not theft. Taxes are how you pay for a society. Don't get me wrong. I don't want my money to be spent in ways I don't agree with, but taxation is not theft. That's a dumb statement. Grow up. In our current setup where a large portion of the country can barely survive, I have a much bigger problem taxing lower and middle classes. Yes. In a more equitable economy where where everyone can actually afford to survive, I have no issue with people paying taxes. Again, that's how we pay for things that we as a society hopefully all benefit from. Like I said, I'm sure there are people out there getting jobs, but they're not jobs that are helping them actually afford to survive. Oh, again, Gem, I 100% agree with you on because of the way it is right now. Yeah. Totally understand. In the end though, taxing people that don't make much is not actually helping us survive either. Like people that are basically like not paying taxes, that's not helping them survive. That's the problem, right? Like, okay, you give them an extra couple $1,000. Big whoop. How many of you think that $2,000 or something like that is going to actually fix anything? Doesn't fix the ultimate problem. How about the billions of dollars that are fraudulent? How about them? What about them? Yeah, let's audit the Defense Department first. Let's get the Defense Department to pass an audit. We are doomed? I don't think we're doomed. I'm sure people thought we were doomed during the Great Depression. I know there were people that thought we were doomed during the Great Recession. I knew people that thought we were doomed at Y2K. Yeah, I saw that, Aaron. The screwworm coming back that's not a good thing. I'm so happy. So let's defund our military. That's your idea. What did I say, Steve? What did I say? At what point did I say defund our military? Gosh. Read about Great Reset. We are all cooked. Okay. All right. In the time that I have been alive, this country has been cooked in some way, shape, or form every year. Defund the Democratic Party. Democratic Party is a corporation. How do you deal with people? What do you mean? On here? Most of them, a lot of them are just trying to get a rise out of me. Says the guy sitting at home. Yeah, I work from home, Steve. You think I've worked from home my entire life? I've been working since I was 13. The fuck are you talking about? How do I deal with people in life? You know, sometimes I don't. Depends on the person. It depends on the situation. What's worse, watching from home or running the live, right? Literally 3%. I'm sure you're probably talking a lot in there, Steve, but nothing's coming out. So everything you're saying seems even worse than, like, just seems absolutely ridiculous. All I see is says the guy sitting at home and then literally 3%. There's nothing else. So stock market is not connected to the economy anymore. Yeah, I know. Let's keep them off welfare. Let's make sure that people get paid what it costs to actually live in this world. That'll get them off welfare. Paying people a living wage will get people off welfare. What is stick market? I know, Vonda. The stick market. Whew. Oh, red states to pick themselves up by their bootstraps, right? Hey, Dennis. If you have an option for 401k, do it. Why? I don't know. I don't think I'm ever going to retire. You think any people that put money into 401k are going to be able to retire? They're not going to, like, most people are digging into their 401ks to pay their bills now. And you think people are going to be able to put money into a 401k? Nah, that's the problem. Yeah, Cat, and it's only going to get bigger when the SpaceX stock goes in. Jeez. The valuation on that SpaceX is wild and so false. Lots of people at the mall. Okay. You're 187. Uh-huh. I've walked the mall tons of times. There aren't tons of people at the mall. And if there are, most of them just walk. There's a lot of people walking at the mall. There's a lot of people that get their exercise at the mall. Not a lot of people buying things, though. I didn't see a comment, Steve. I told you, you're getting filtered a ton. But whatever. No. Create an illusion and the market share explodes. Oh, yeah. Car sales are all up. Okay. All right. Oh my gosh. The economy is crashing. Again, more than 50% of the country is either living paycheck to paycheck or worse. That's not a good economy. Been that way for years. No, it hasn't. It was that way during like a pandemic and a Great Recession. Can someone wake you up when it's over? Wouldn't that be nice? Wouldn't that be nice? Do you even know?
Wait, do you even know what you're talking about? I have been on the internet forever, and I know all there is to know about everything. Bring me up, so I can talk about everything that I learned by watching Fox News and Newsmax and Google AI.
Advice on riding this economic downfall. If you have the ability to build a store of things, that'll probably help. It won't fix everything. Like, you won't be able to store up enough to cover all of it, probably, depending on how far it ends up going. Hey, Patty. Find a community of people that can support each other. Do you think it sounds more believable if you say it in a squirrel voice? No. Low testosterone. Yeah. Woo. There we go. I knew it was coming. I knew it was coming. Yeah, solar panels if you can afford it. The economy is not doing pretty well. The economy sucks. Well, yeah. And unfortunately, 4 years ago, there was a lot of help for people to be able to get solar panels. Unfortunately, they got rid of most of those most of those economic benefits. And people are going to have to pay for them all themselves, which is a lot harder. Economy sucks. Stock market is doing well. True. Not to mention, we're going to have a massive food shortage because a lot of the areas around this country that grow the food we eat are going through massive droughts. So not only is it going to cost more to get the food to you, but there's going to be less of it to begin with. Yeah, unfortunately, I was talking about this earlier. Getting a garden, if there's a drought, is only going to help so much. I mean, I hope it works for you, but we're seeing areas already talking about, wearing your clothes for like 3 days instead of, before washing them. Like wearing your clothes 3 times before washing them to reduce water usage. Not allowing you to water anything. More ticks out there. Yep. I feel for small businesses, they're going to suffer. Yep. Small businesses are already suffering. Well, unfortunately, I think this one's going to be worse. Economy is not doing really well. Rich people are doing really well. The economy is not doing really well. Hey, Cat. Experts talking about dystopia until 2038. I mean, we'll see. We'll see what happens. Unfortunately, to an extent, the future is unknown to a large extent, which is why I only talk about if things keep going the way they're going. There's no guarantees. That means nothing to a majority of the country, correct? The Dow being over 50,000 means nothing to a majority of the country. Hey, Ghost. Morning, Gen X. We've already had a fire that destroyed 15 homes near Boise because it's so dry. Yeah. There have been more acres of forest have burned this year in this amount of time than ever before because of lack of rainfall and because of droughts across the country, especially. Definitely possible, Cat. It is definitely possible that what we could see is worse than any of the ones before. I hope we're wrong, but have I seen India temperatures? Not recently. I know they've been dealing with droughts too. You see, John, this is my channel. I don't need to answer you or anybody. In fact, I've been talking pretty much constantly since you got here about how the economy is bad and getting worse. But you're not listening because you don't understand how all things are connected. But thanks for playing. Morning, Mama Bear. Hey, Linda. How's it going? Oh, you know, it's Friday. It's Friday. That's always a good thing. Looking forward to the weekend. Unfortunately, being on this planet for 68 plus years makes my views like reruns with extra commercials. That's fair. And again, I see a distinct possibility of a Great Depression and worse. No, she's got this too. Go talk somewhere else. There ain't any signs of a recession. Uh-huh. Actually, there are lots of signs of a recession. Credit card defaults, housing mortgage defaults, all going up. Amount of people that are using their 401ks to pay bills also going up. Oh no, signs that determine a recession and depression potentially. Hey, Larry. Hey, man from the West. What's this? This is Breaking the Meta, where we talk about what's going on in the world and laugh at the people that think that everything is good. And cry because so many of those people are running the country right now. SpaceX is massively overvalued. Massively overvalued. The only thing is it really that bad? Yes, for a majority of the country it is. I mean, SpaceX has basically sucked in Twitter, which is making no money, XAI, which is making no money. The only thing that makes money on SpaceX at all is their satellite internet, and it doesn't make anywhere near close to what it needs to value it that high. Morning, Kelly. No, Larry, the cost of living is going up massively, and most of the country is now living paycheck to paycheck or worse. You love SpaceX? What do you love about SpaceX? Hey, Swift. Sure as hell isn't worth 1.7 trillion. No, not even close. There is something about them catching 1,000-ton object on twigs. I don't know what that means. talking about Starship, it lands on landing pegs. Oh, okay. Is the world exploding? Do I need a bunk? Are you okay, dude? I've pulled back on all spending on extras. Only necessities are in the budget. Anything left is saved to cover our asses in the next few years if necessary. That's fair. WW3 breaking out? Not that I know of. I mean, again, we already know that, and that's why we say stocks are not connected to the economy anymore. They have nothing to do with reality of the economy. And you can tell that because Tesla is a perfect example. When they came out with their quarterly earnings and they showed that they were losing money hand over fists, and yet their stock prices keep going up, they have nothing to do with each other anymore. There's no connection anymore between stock values and companies. Why? Because the people that are dealing with it are playing with monopoly money. These people have so much money that they literally can build their own wealth without doing anything. And it has nothing to do with the economy. It has nothing to do with the value of a company. It has nothing to do with making profits. They don't care about any of that. I would like to see if I could spend $1 billion. I bet I could get close. Maybe. Again, Larry, I have no issue with a company trying to do some of the things that SpaceX is doing. But in the end, there really isn't much to love about it, especially now. Again, I like that they've made it possible for people to get internet in places that they may not have been able to before. That's not a bad thing. But in the end, I don't think that's enough to make them good, per se. SpaceX is being sued by homeowners near their launch site. I'm sure. The amount of times that they fired off rockets, that cannot be good for the environment and the homes around. Just like there's a lot of houses near data centers that are like that are getting disgusting water now and things like that. Sound level is terrible, I bet. They're dumping industrial waste into protected wetlands on Boca Chica Beach. I wish I were surprised about that, Mama Bear. I wish I were surprised about that, but I ain't. But I ain't. If there are any community people that want to come up, you absolutely can. I know the normal people that come up don't seem to be here, but if there's any other people that are normally part of the community that want to come up, you're more than welcome. I'm not either, but I say it every chance I get. Absolutely should. Absolutely should. And that's the problem. That's one of the problems about having such a big country, right? Like having our country be as large as it is, it's very easy for people to completely not feel like what's going on in other parts of the state or other parts of their country because it doesn't affect them. And unfortunately, now more than ever, we're at this point where we're like, well, they voted for it, which again, I understand that perspective. It's just not you know, it's like when people say that anyone that's X, Y, or Z shouldn't be here anymore. It's like these people don't understand that if half of the country disappeared, America would literally crash. And I don't think people realize what that looks like. Again, I understand the feeling. It's a valid feeling, in fact. But neither side can really afford to just leave. Good morning, Tiffany. Starship produces 76 meganewtons of force. Sometimes they test it without the water deluge system. It's to suppress the energy the rocket uses. This could probably shake apart and damage buildings. I bet. And I cannot imagine what the explosions do to the surrounding everybody. Too. Like how many have exploded so far? Hey, Jelly. Yeah, it's funny you say that. Rich people don't clean their own toilets, and they're trying to eliminate those who do that work. Yeah, I was watching the, I think it was a Senate committee hearing with Bessent, and he was talking about grocery prices, and one of the senators was like, "When's the last time you've been into a grocery store?" This guy's a friggin' billionaire. You know he hasn't walked into a grocery store for a long, long, long time. If ever. I don't know enough about him to know how and when he got his wealth, but these people don't go into grocery stores. Let alone the prices in the grocery stores. Trying to say that grocery prices have gone down is wild. Like, again, maybe like the luxury grocery like store products may have gone down a little, but the stuff that everybody gets, definitely not. Definitely not. I still say make them live off a minimum wage for 6 months without access to their current savings. Seriously, right? Remember Oz making a fool of himself grocery shopping in a campaign ad? I don't, but I'm sure that was hilarious. Probably as ridiculous as Trump walking into a fast food joint and being like, is this where you make the French fries? Wow, that's amazing. His reaction to being in a McDonald's was the dumbest thing I've ever seen. Like, jeez. Yeah, you worked with Dr. Oz, not good. Yeah. Daniel, it's called Parkinson's disease. What part of that don't you seem to understand? So for you, it's all week coming in here. Nah, alcohol shakes. Whatever, dude. Go play with your small D. Again, I mean, people aren't going to assume that someone my age has Parkinson's. So people coming in and not knowing, that's fine. But sitting here and telling me those kind of things, it's just stupid. I booted him, Gerber. Hey, Eleanor. How are you, my friend? Yeah, seriously, Shane. Probably can't. Your retirement is gone. Bitcoin is gone. Again, it's all fake money. That's the problem. I have 57 items in my online grocery cart. No snacks, just food and necessities, with 98% of them being sale items, and my total is just over $200. Yep. The world is ending? No, the world is not ending. I am glad it's Friday, Eleanor. Let's put it that way. I'm glad it's Friday. Hey, Dean. This week has been challenging, to say the least. To say the least. Again, that's what we're dealing with, right? We're dealing with a small hiccup. It is not a small hiccup. We're dealing with most of the country is living in reality, which is they can't afford to survive. And then a much smaller percentage that's at the top is playing with monopoly money that in the end is affecting the lives of everyone who's living in reality. Hey, Kyla. How are you? Thank you, everybody. Give it another month and everyone forget about high gas. No, they won't. No, they won't. In another month, it's going to be worse, especially if things keep going the way they're going. Surviving, not thriving. I feel you, Kylie. I feel you. It's and again, it's one of those difficult things where I sit here and say that it's going to get worse before it gets better, knowing how many people are going to suffer. Unfortunately, I don't foresee an avenue where things get better for a majority of the country without going through some massive pain. Look at it this way. It took the Great Depression to get more equity in our economy. The New Deal would not have happened without the Great Depression. Because the stock market has nothing to do with the economy. The stock market is monopoly money for the wealthy. That's why the economy can be crashing. Morning, Captain. How are you doing, my friend? When negotiations happen, everything changes. No, unfortunately, it doesn't. How you doing today, Captain? What you got going on? Pretty good. Last 4 days of campaign, getting my final push in. Heck yeah. That's awesome. So Tuesday is your guys' thing. I got quiet. Yep. I did. Primary's Tuesday. Gotcha. How are things looking for you? I also I don't respond to dumb comments. What's funny is people that come in and say those kind of dumb comments just show that they lack any form of humanity or empathy whatsoever. I don't care about them. Yo!
Howdy.
What's up, brother?
Hello there. Hi. My comments are getting filtered.
Of course they are.
TikTok doesn't like my comments, so I figured I'd come
TikTok
up.
doesn't like anybody's comments. It's so annoying.
It is. It is very annoying, but it is what it is. You know, they have to protect people's innocence. You know, because we're all so innocent out here.
Yep.
But it is what it is. Hello there, folks. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. First things first, while we're here, don't forget to tap on that screen. Use these two beautiful fingers. Get on that screen, and you can tap on his face. Hit those beautiful eyes. Just tap on. Oh, he wants it in the nose.
Nose.
Go ahead and give it a nice little tap on there. And if you've got gifts, by all means, throw it his way. You know, he puts in some really good hard work, pretty much every day. I miss most of his podcasts because I'm working.
You have to work.
But it is what it is. Tap on that screen, throw the gifts. Anyways, for me, I'll be honest. For this last week that I am pushing, I am a lot more nervous about the idea of winning than I am about losing. I have already achieved all of the goals that I have set. I've made the current incumbent work harder and actually talk to and meet the people. She hasn't made a post on Facebook since she was elected, and hasn't talked publicly at all. But now she's doing all of that because of me.
Yeah.
So that's one goal that's achieved. Two, I am learning how the political landscape truly runs. The truth of the political landscape, as opposed to what I would like for it to be. And I don't like it.
Yeah.
I don't like it. But I am learning, and I'm going to adjust for the next election, because to be honest, I am more so meant for a national campaign, a statewide campaign, rather than a small local campaign.
Yeah.
But I was told baby steps, and I have to admit, they were fucking wrong.
Yeah.
For someone like me, who has been in the social media limelight and space, and been working towards a better future for everyone.
Yep.
Working small is not going to get enough of the job done.
Yeah.
Granted, I'm still going to do it. But yeah, I meant more so for a national landscape. And with that said, I am more nervous about what happens if I win than I am about getting to move on to the next step with losing.
Yeah.
Because if I win, I immediately lose $100,000 next year. for when it's time to actually go to work. And that is money that is supposed to go towards my next campaign. So with that said, I am realizing now that the work that I do with my job and my business, I'm not that I'm using to fund my campaigns right now.
Yep.
I'm not going to be able to do the same thing, therefore forcing me to get outside help from corporations or businesses that are just trying to screw the people that I represent. That ain't okay with me.
Yeah.
That is not okay with me. I don't ask, it's like I'm told again by my campaign advisors, I'm supposed to be asking my constituents for money. And so, and I have said this before to them, and I'm going to say it to you now. What fucking sense does that make? Everybody is hurting.
Yep.
Why am I going to beg people who are broke, who are having to spend twice as much money at the gas tank, who are losing their jobs and those jobs are not getting replaced? I mean, how am I supposed to look them straight in the eye and be like, hey, I need your help.
Yeah.
Can you send me $5 that doesn't even get you a Happy Meal anymore?
Yeah.
I mean, no. That's no. Anyways, sorry, I'm going on a tangent.
No,
Sorry.
you are absolutely right. And I know I've been watching a bunch of stuff in your area that's going on in your whole area about, especially about dealing
The
with
water?
water. Yeah. Like
Yeah.
like your state and all the states in your surrounding area, the Colorado Basin is rough right now, and anything that's around it is super struggling.
Yeah, it's I mean, they are actually and one of the projects I'm working on my as a part of my desert tortoise biologist job is a new expansion of these master planned homes up here, and with the the issues of water and housing prices and stuff, this area has kind of ground it to a halt. They are actually slowing down on building homes because home prices are too much and people can't afford it. And I mean, DR Horton, KB Homes, all of these areas right here, yeah, they're continuing the basic construction, but I've been out here for 3 months now, and they have halted on the actual home building completely. And hey, it's fine by me. I luckily work for the National Park Services right now and not them, so I'm required to be here. But anyways, I'm glad that we made a deal. Actually, that was going to be my second video after the one I'm about to make right now. The second video that I'm was about to make is dealing with the fact that we finally made a deal when it comes to water, but even then that deal is not going to fill up Lake Mead. It's not going to restore the water. It's literally just going to cut off California basically from the Colorado River and force them to use San Diego's desalination water where they have a surplus. And eventually, when we make the infrastructure, we will be able to do the same thing. But I'll be honest, and this is the part where I'm going to show that I'm not a politician, but just an honest man. Why the fuck haven't we been doing this in the first place? We've been trying to build these rails to LA, to Nevada. We've been trying to build all of these high-speed rails and everything else. We can do it at the exact same time.
Yep.
Imagine having an actual a pipeline to a desalination plant on the coast. Imagine that shit, to go along with the high-speed rail, these solar power lines and everything else, to actually help the future of our world, as opposed to just making a tiny little buck.
Yep.
Man, this is something I'm supposed to be filming. I need to I need to stop. I'm losing my fire.
Well, if you need to go and do your video so you can keep your fire, I completely understand. Guys, if you don't follow the captain, make sure you do. He's a cool dude. He makes some amazing content on this app, and he's also running for a local office But as he said, he's meant for more. I actually interviewed him. His video is just about to come out. I totally forgot that your primary was soon.
Tuesday. Hey, that's okay, man. That's okay. Because, I mean, hey, if I win, then I'll have the next 5 months to figure it out.
That's true.
I'll actually have to ask rich people for money with letting them know, hey, look, I need your money. I don't need you to fuck over my people. So when you give me your money, you are one of my people. I am not your bitch. That's
Yep.
But anyways, that's all right. I've said enough. All right. Have a good day, man. I'm going to get this video made.
All right. You too.
All right. Take care.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye. Oh, and thank you all for the gifts. I appreciate you. Yoink.
Vonda. Yes. 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 Exactly. Hey, Tiffany.
Hey, good morning.
How are you doing?
It's been a week. How about you?
Been a week.
I'm going to say it's been a couple of weeks.
Yep.
It's all good. I'm putting my house up for sale on Tuesday, so it's been like a lot of...
Have you
it's good.
Have you started looking in the other place?
I've been looking online. Haven't really done much of anything because I kind of want to sell it off around my house so that we can get pre-approved for everything because we have to then fly out to Winnipeg and go look. So we're moving 2 provinces over. So I won't lie, I'll be glad to leave all the separatists behind.
I bet.
That'll be fun.
I bet.
Oh my God, you should see. There was a truck driving somewhere in Alberta that had it looks like an American presidential seal on it, the side of it, except it says something about the great state of Alberta, USA. And I was like, what the hell is going on? I'm like, if you want, I have no problem. I love all my American friends, but I'm like, I hate to say it. If you want to be part of America, there's a border. You can go drive straight over it and go apply for visas and stuff.
Yeah, good luck on that.
Do you know how much fun I have explaining to them? I'm like, you can always just go and become American.
Especially now that they're trying to make a new rule that you can't go across and apply for everything. You have to do it all in the country that you're starting in first.
So you'd have to do all the applications in Canada?
Mm-hmm.
Although I'd say that's probably easier than some other countries because we're usually not too bad. That being said, I've tried calling the American consulate before. That was a fun experience.
I don't bring up people I don't know. And I'm going to be honest with you. Your name
tells us everything we need to know. That's it. We know.
The fact that you even are willing to say that means that you don't actually want to live in the reality of what we're going through right now. And that's fine. You are welcome to believe he is an amazing person, but that's not reality. And we deal with reality here. So
we do. And it really and even if we lived in some alternate universe and he maybe was a nice person to some degree, all of his behaviors and actions prove otherwise, that he doesn't care about the people, not just of America, but of the planet.
It's ironic. Why do you believe that that's ironic? But wait. Hello from Serbia. How are things in Serbia? Vonda, take a deep breath, my friend.
I was going to say, Vonda, can he define ironic?
Stop.
Definition.
I don't trust any guys. I know you have been told that the entire world is between Democrats and Republicans. Those are just words. Those are corporations. Those are corporations. They aren't the people. I care about the people. I don't care about what letters next to your name. I don't care about what party you supposedly align with. I don't drink any Kool-Aid of any party. If you've listened to me at all, you know I am more than willing to rip, to shred any party or any person in any party, no matter what they are in. Do I align more with the values of people that call themselves Democrats? Absolutely. 100% won't argue it at all. But to say that I follow them for any specific, especially because they're friggin' Democrat, is dumb. That's just a dumb and ignorant statement. And that's the problem that we are dealing with, is too many of you think that the problem is Democrats when you don't seem to realize that this identity bullshit that you guys, that a lot of us, Republicans and Democrats, are very focused on, is why we are dealing with the shit we're dealing with. Your president is a dictator. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It's rough in a lot of places right now. That's why I always say, like, when people say, you know, the problem is America. No, the problem is this ultra conservative, isolationist, nationalistic, dictator, fascism movement that these people all existed before. They're just coming out in storm right now. Like they feel empowered to be large and in charge in people's faces.
Yep. And it's everywhere. It's not just in the United States. It's in Canada. It's in England. It's everywhere right now, unfortunately.
I love when people said y'all did that to yourselves, as though the entire country voted for the person in charge. This is, again, anyone that said, that's like saying that a majority of the country loves Trump because he won the election. That doesn't mean the majority of the country loves Trump. It means barely 1.3% of the people that voted for Trump. That's not actually a majority of the country.
Yep. Well, and even then, people have to remember, just because somebody voted Republican and voted for Trump as president, Trump was the Republican representative as president. They may not actually like Trump. They had to choose him because, unfortunately, that's who the party chose to represent them. So you have to remember, sometimes they may not even like that person necessarily, but that's the representative of that party. It happens all the time.
Now, we can have a separate conversation about how you as a human being can look at Kamala Harris and Donald Trump and go, oh yeah, Donald Trump is so much better. That's a whole different problem.
Yes. That is it.
We also have a problem of people don't vote in our primaries. Again, I will say this until the day I am no longer here.
Yep.
As long as 15 to 25% of voting people vote in primaries, we will not get the kind of change that it sounds like in many ways both sides want. We may not agree with how we get there. We may not agree on certain parts of what rights people have, and that's a conversation that needs to be had as well. But there are lots of aspects that we actually agree on. The difference is I say I want all corruption no matter which side it's on, and I will call it out no matter where it is. And then I got the people on the conservative side that only are willing to point out Democratic corruption and think that the only people that are corrupt are Democrats. And if you believe that, I've got a bridge that crosses the Pacific Ocean to sell you.
Well, and you know what? That basically just backed up the point I was making. It's people not voting in the primaries that have allowed candidates who aren't quality candidates. That's my PC word for the day, quality candidates, to be the representative for that riding, region, presidency, instead of people who actually would be a
And-
quality candidate and more representative of values.
And Roro, I still don't think you or anyone else is contemplating the realities here. The Democratic Party, the Republican Party don't have to have primaries. Ever. There is the parties themselves are not part of the government. They're corporations that have to follow rules. They do not have to have an election. They do not have to have primaries. They could stop it altogether. They didn't used to have primaries. They followed the rules of the DNC once Biden dropped out after he'd won the primary. That was the rules of the DNC. They're not entrenched in the system. I mean, sure, as much as all of us are, but they are not the government. And when it comes to when it comes to how candidates are picked, we need to stop pretending as though they are anything but corporations. And in the end, if we want real change, we need to vote people through primaries, especially in the places that can have it, that want to change how things work. The only way we are going to fix a two-party system, especially when that system is set up in a way that makes it the only possibility in our Constitution, is to get a constitutional change. The only way to get a constitutional change is, in the end, to get 3/4 of the states' legislators on board. That's it. That is the only way. And every time we sit here and go, oh, they're two parts of the same thing, or they're both corrupt, or whatever, all we're doing is continuing the problem. Because you are convincing people to not get involved by doing that. When what we need is more people to get involved to do that. Because that is the only way we are going to get change. The less people get involved, the more the people that have the money and have the power currently will be able to keep it. And I don't know why you can't understand that. As long as 15 to 25% of the people vote in the primaries, nothing will ever change. Because those 15 to 25% will decide who your choices are. I know tons of people who are Republican. Both sides are not the same. Both sides are not the same. In certain aspects, sure. Again, Democratic Party, Republican Party, they're corporations. They are the same. But they are not the same. Both sides are not the same. They're not. And there's enough data in this out there to show that there is a vast difference. If you only look at certain aspects, sure, I can see why you'd believe they're the same. Not get mentioned at all, get mentioned here. I interview most of them,
Yep.
or a lot of them.
But how do we ever, like, I'm going to answer that, you know it. How do we ever expect to change these parties if we don't actually vote in a primary, so the candidates that hold our values are starting to become more powerful within the party system? The only way for us to change things is to get people through in the primaries who hold our values, so that they can start basically becoming part of the party, and then changing the value system and how the power and stuff is used within society.
Connie, what I'm saying is, and yes, they are a bunch of people that aren't taking money from corporations at all. So they're different. But if people hear both parties are the same, so they just don't vote in the primaries, which is what a majority of this country doesn't do, then the people that are grassroots are unlikely to get through their primaries, which means there is no chance of actually getting a fix. I'm not sitting here saying we need to say the system is great, because that would be a lie. The system's not great. Both parties have a lot of problems, and I will make this comparison for the rest of my life. If the Democratic Party and the Republican Party are two rooms, the Democratic Party's room is a mess. Like, we're talking a pigsty. It's a mess. The Republican Party is the same mess with a giant pile of shit in the center that's on fire. That's the difference between the two right now. Comparing the two is not even close. At the mid-level and takes control. They take control because the people do not get involved. We let them take control. If we got 30, 40 grassroots candidates into the House, they would have to take what they were saying seriously. They wouldn't have a choice.
Yep.
I absolutely understand what you're saying, Connie, and I appreciate that coming on here has made you be willing to vote. I do. Both sides have absolutely massive issues. If you've heard me before, I say I am totally behind primarying 97% of Congress. Absolutely for it. We need change. We need massive change. The problem is that people think that Trump is change. What they don't realize is what he actually is the face of the actual problem that we've been dealing with in this country for a long time. Term limits will start the change. But again, things like term limits, this is where it comes back to. I love term limits. I used to not like them because reality is, in a perfect world where people were voting, primaries are term limits. Every 2 years, you got to vote for somebody else. So those would happen. But in order to get term limits, in order to get any of these things that we say we want, we need 3/4 of the states to be able to ratify something. Most of this country does not involve themselves in the things that make this country run. That's a reality. A majority of this country, I would say half of the people that vote, and then all of the people that don't, no, probably 90% of the people that don't vote, are people that don't interact in any way, shape, or form. Basically, everyone that doesn't vote in the primaries, I would say.
And one, there's always a way to fight the system to win. Like that's a very defeatist attitude, and it's you're definitely going to lose then because you haven't even bothered to try. So, like, we're trying to advocate for change in what we've believed to be the best way. If other people have great ideas, please throw them in the comments. We're always in this community open to listening to great ideas. Like, that's how we built it. That's how Mike built this community. Like, great ideas, and all of us sharing them and trying to advocate for change in our areas. And you know what? That choosing not to get involved is not just exclusive to the United States and their elections. It's just as big a problem here in Canada. People don't get involved when they vote for city council.
Most people don't know who their state reps are at all.
Yeah. Most people don't know who anybody is. They don't know who their councillor is on city council. They don't even know who their mayor is. They don't know who in Canada their MLA is, and they don't know who their MP is. And they wouldn't even know how to find the information. And that's inherently a huge problem, because you know what? It's your federal government, and this is very similar in both Canada and the US, although things are slightly different. They are not the ones who affect a lot of your day-to-day issues. Your state and or province and your city do. So those are the places you really want to make sure that you're getting people in who really represent you, your values, and what you want to see in your community, because they are the ones who dictate most of what happens in your daily life, from how your hospital is run to how the fire hall is run to how your roads get repaired to expansions that happen in your city and or roadways within your state and province. Like they may be slightly different between countries, but not so different that is not still the same in both countries. Like, we have to get more active in our local politics, not just the big ones for our federal governments, but more local politics, because you have to remember, local politicians end up starting there and moving up the chain into state, into so if you're not advocating for great politicians at your local level, you're only kicking a can down the road to them being in a more prominent, powerful position later.
What's going to happen to Americans once America oppresses more and we all flee? I guess we'll find out.
Here's the question, though. Where are you going to flee to?
Well, and it doesn't, I mean, again, these are all, here's the thing. You know what? You're right. People love to talk. That's the problem. Is there are a lot of people that get on this app that love to talk, but don't actually do anything. Voting is how we do anything. Uh, spiteful, you obviously don't understand how affordability works. If the job you get still can't pay your bills, it doesn't matter that you have a job. You still can't afford to survive. It doesn't matter if you have a job. I'm sure people are getting jobs. You don't have a choice. You got to find a way to pay things. It doesn't mean anything. That's the reason why he's still there. I see the Senate live footage and they're lagging the truth. What? No, the problem is people don't care about the truth anymore. Truth has become, in many people's minds, has become subjective. And there's lots of reasons for that. What's your truth, what's my truth has become a thing that we can supposedly disagree on. Because we've used the word truth incorrectly for too long. We've allowed people to use the word, this is my truth. No. It's again, what we've done is we've used words to, in place of other words, to give them more power and authority, which I don't consider a bad thing. But yes, the problem is the word truth does not it's become subjective.
Yep. People refuse to look at facts anymore. It's why we're having problems with diphtheria and measles and so many other things coming back, is because people started to think that there was more than one truth out there for every situation, and that's not the case. Like, I hate to say it. And it's, unfortunately, it's starting to unravel parts of society because of it. We need to come together and advocate for people to find evidence that's not a confirmation bias evidence, actual evidence, supporting documentation that's credible evidence when they're making a claim.
Hey, Carla.
Oh, your cat has the hiccups? That's so cute.
Again, we can sit here and point out all the problems that are going on. And actually, I think in many cases, we agree on the problems. We may not agree on what the solutions look like, but I think we can agree on problems. None of them are going to change if we don't get involved. None of them. Literally none of them. If more people don't vote in primaries, more people don't vote in general elections, nothing is going to change. As long as 15 to 25% of the country of voting age people, so it's even less people, decide who everyone's choices are, why do you think anything's going to change? You sit here and we sit here and say we don't like our choices. Well, the problem is that the people who like that choice are the ones that got out and voted. .401k is not banging. You're also assuming anyone's ever going to retire.
And this to Jammer 19, please put in the comments your evidence to support that that the Canadian economy is doing so poorly in comparison to the American economy.
You're
I'm
happy
interested.
the current admin, so you don't care about people. Got it. You don't care about the literally tens of millions of people that are, whose literal livelihood is crashing. The stock market is made to go up and down, not like it is currently. The stock market is not connected to the economy at all. It's not a stretch. Women are losing their life because of the choices of this administration. Marginalized communities are losing their life because of the choices of this administration. Poor people are losing their life because of the choices of this administration. So you saying you're happy with it means you don't care. Who, where? Oh my gosh. Literally every state claims no evidence. Oh, there's plenty of evidence out there. You don't care about evidence. You don't care. If you cared, you would see the ones that have been talked about literally across the nation. In every single state, especially ones that have Republican legislatures.
Agreed, Mission. They're crazy right now. Like Jammer's trying to say our unemployment rate is up to 7% in Canada and there's homelessness everywhere and da da da. Okay. Yes. Unemployment is up. Unemployment is up in the United States. I don't know, Mike, do you guys have any accurate numbers or
I mean, Vonda's talking about them.
Yeah, because I'm like, I trust this administration to give honest, truthful information about as much as I trust gas station sushi. But I'm like, yes, unemployment is going up. And we knew this would be the effects from Trump's mass tariffs on everybody. This is going to be a problem, not just for Canada, but anybody that the United States trades with where Trump has put blanket tariffs. This is going to have, these are the little ripples that we were talking about like a year ago. And certain provinces are having more issues than others. Edmonton, where I happen to be, our unemployment has remained stable. Calgary, on the other hand, has gone up by 2 or 3%. It's an unfortunate side effect when we allow billionaires to take control of the government and they do things for their best interests instead of the best interests of the people. It's why it's so important to get out and vote. It's why it's important to have your voice heard. It's like these are all intertwined in a little web. The only thing we can do is try our best to support each other, and it's why I always advocate to people, please try and go support local businesses instead of big huge corporations if you can, because you know what, that is you putting money into your local economy and helping all of your neighbors around you to live better lives. It's one small change you can make if you can, obviously, if it's within your cost affordability to do so, obviously. If you can't afford to do so, then that's okay. There's other ways you can go and support local businesses. You can share their stuff on your social media. You can decide to maybe, if you're getting gifts for friends and family for birthdays, you can buy gift cards for that then, and that's how you can support when you know you were already going to go get a gift. Things like that. Like there's small changes that we can make as the working class that will affect change in spite of the billionaires trying to crush us.
I'm not going to say your name because I think it's a stupid name to have, but how is the US economy crashing? Didn't we just crush it with job numbers? Again, so let's say where I live, If I got a job that paid $15 an hour, which is pretty consistent around here, I couldn't afford to survive. I'd have a job according to the job numbers, but I'd still be suffering because I wouldn't be able to pay all my bills. So jobs by their very nature are not an indication that people can afford to survive. That's not true at all. That is the dumbest ass statement I have ever seen in my life.
The bots are getting really creative now, hey, with their a-hole comments. That's how I'll put them. Because no, minimum wage job. Who's gonna go work at like these restaurants and coffee shops and like all of the grocery stores and stuff during the day when high school students are in school? Who do you think is gonna work in those jobs? Like, there's no way you can be so obtuse that you don't even realize that you need employees during the daytime when kids are in school.
My tiny ass house, it's one of the smallest houses you can get in my entire city, would still sell for over $300,000 a year, or $300,000. You understand what a mortgage would look like at $300,000 house?
Yep, I know because I have one. It's about. That being said, Canada's a little different than the United States, but yes, I
Who is starting a family making $15 an hour? No one.
nope.
That's the point.
Nope.
Like
That's what I said when it said spiderweb. These are all intertwined. This is what I meant by that. All of these things are intertwined. They affect each other. If you can't find good quality full-time jobs, and in honesty, what economists want to see when they're looking at job numbers is they're looking at the number of good quality full-time jobs that are made. Full-time jobs, not part-time, not all of these other things. They want full-time quality jobs. That's what a healthy economy looks like.
And again, what do these companies do? What does places like Walmart do? They give you just enough hours so they don't have to give you health care. Still considered a job, but it is not a job that is survivable.
Yeah, it's not a quality job. It's not a quality full-time job. Like, all of these problems are intertwined, and I don't know how else to explain to people who are willfully ignorant that this is only going to become more problematic as time goes on if we don't turn this ship around quick. Yeah, the guy with the eagle for his picture. You know what? The average hourly wage, even if it's higher than minimum wage, is still not necessarily a livable wage. What don't you understand by the word "it's a livable wage"? What I can command, even with all of my education and experience, if I went back into the workforce, is not enough to be a livable wage.
And again, even more. There is, and I just made up $15 an hour because, again, I've looked for work around here. A lot of jobs only pay $15 an hour or less. A lot do. Not just ones, these are not ones that high school students would get. And again, if you think that that's the case, you are ignorant to the real world. Because I have looked at what jobs are available. Now, that being said, depending on where you live, even, $22 an hour isn't a livable wage. The only reason that we as a family can survive on my wife and I's income is because we got lucky and were able to buy the house we are in after the Great Recession when houses were cheap. That's the only reason we are doing okay.
Kenny, I disagree. What made America great was actually after World War II and FDR starting social programs and stuff to bump up and make sure there was a huge, healthy middle class. You're wrong. Sorry, I'm going to say it. You're wrong. That is what made, and it's funny because that is what Trump sold all of MAGA on, was recreating that whole middle class to the quality that it was at one point in the past. Of course, he never had any intentions of doing that, but so
Debo, why do you think the stock market is in any way connected to the economy anymore?
and even if it was, how does it affect most working class people's daily lives? Does the stock market allow you to go buy groceries? Pay your mortgage? Unless you're a day trader, no.
You look at anyone that says, put your money in stocks and you'll make money. They also say you got to leave it in there for like 20 plus years. How does that help you if you can't afford to survive?
Exactly. It's
The
it
Constitution
can be.
did not make America great. There's an argument to be made that America was never great, especially depending on who you were talking about.
Yep.
He has no intention of doing anything but make himself and his family rich and have everyone who wants something from him.
Well, look.
Most of the country lives paycheck to paycheck or worse.
Yep. And look, Ivanka and her husband are creating E-Island 2.0 right now. So like the whole plan was to create loads of wealth for himself and generational wealth for his children and for all of his buddies. And he's done just that. They hired him to do that job and he did it very well for all of them.
It is not true. In his entire life, he has never done anything to improve things for anyone but himself and his friends. His entire life. Definitely when he was president, the only people that he helped were himself and his friends.
Absolutely.
To say that he cares about everyone is hilarious because he doesn't. He doesn't.
There's times I question if he even cares about his children and his friends, to be honest.
He doesn't need to care about them anymore. They're all billionaires in their own right now.
Well, and here's the thing. If you make the argument that Trump is, in fact, a true narcissist, then the only reason he's making his friends and family more wealthy is to make himself look good, because it's all about him. So it's all to make him look better in the end.
Every tax bracket's rate is lower. Okay, see ya, Kelly.
All I'm going to say is,
First off, that's not completely true. Second, in the ways that it even is, why do you think that helps people at the bottom who already aren't paying taxes? Do you think $2,000 is actually going to make people go from delving into their 401ks to pay their bills to no longer doing it? The problem is not taxes. The only people that care about taxes are the ones that are the wealthy.
As somebody who does taxes, I can tell you right now, tax cuts rarely, if ever, benefit anybody in the, I'm going to say, and this is obviously based on Canadians, our step system. I'm going to say anybody in the 120,000 or less bracket. And that would be everybody below that income level. They rarely, if ever, help in any significant way. So anytime somebody says, hey, we're going to do tax cuts, the only thing you should think in your mind is, what service are they going to cut? Because you know what that means? They're cutting a service that you get, something, somewhere.
Now, do I feel bad for the people that would be considered middle class? Are they paying a lot? Sure. Yeah, they are.
Yep.
They increase the child credit.
Child credit gives, do you know how, oh my God, I should do a whole lesson one day on how credits work on your tax return. I should, just to make everybody sleep.
If you, if where you live, it costs you like $80,000 a year. Like the cost of living is $80,000 a year, and you're making $30,000 a year. You think $1,000 is going to help you?
And Mike, that's $1,000 tax credit. So you have to have tax payable in your tax return for your tax credit to actually be useful. So in the bottom line, and if you're making 30 grand, you don't owe any taxes. So that tax credit is a moot point. It's not useful. It doesn't even show up on your tax return because you didn't need the credits. So that's the funny thing when I see people like, oh my God, this is why I said the education system, I don't care where you are on the planet, needs to put some more functional education into high school where people start learning about basics on how to do a tax return, how a credit card works, how to open a bank account, which one's the most beneficial for certain situations, like simple things so that people actually understand stuff. And I understand that it is not the intention of the wealthy class to make any of us educated enough that we could actually, I don't know, live a happy, reasonably safe and secure life. That is not their intention. But I'm like, all of us, because there's more of us. Remember, we are the ants versus the grasshoppers. If you haven't seen that movie recently, please go see it.
How
the ants can have power.
So what's going to help? Having minimum wage be linked to the cost of living.
Yep. And I'm going to say there's a few other things. And nobody should be allowed to be using their stock portfolio as collateral for purchasing of anything or loans of any kind. Third, we need proper, effective taxation of the wealthy class. I don't know what that looks like. It's beyond my education level. I do not have doctorates in taxation, but I'm sure there's people who are working on it who have ideas on how that can work. There's a lot of things that would be helpful. I don't know. In the United States, I'd say universal healthcare would be one. just throwing that out there.
That would reduce the cost for everyone. Not just by $1,000. We're talking tens of thousands of dollars.
So like just off the top of my head, as somebody from another country and as somebody who's fighting to keep our public health care going, there's a lot of things that can affect change. Some of them big, some of them small. And yes, you know what? If you raise minimum wage, prices go up. But it's also why I said there was other ideas, like, I don't know, not allowing the wealthy to use their stock portfolio to take out loans to live off of so they don't have to pay taxes.
You absolutely can tax unrealized gains. Most of that is monopoly money and doesn't actually exist. And those people are taking out loans based on those stock portfolios and not paying any taxes on it. Nobody would invest. Good.
Yep.
Good.
Yep. Which is why I said if you make it so that it cannot be used as collateral, then that loophole for tax evasion, and it's not technically legally tax evasion, so please nobody in the comments jump at me. It's not technically legally tax evasion, but I have no other word in my brain at the moment. You close that loophole. Are there going to be other new loopholes? Absolutely, but that's how we start. When stocks go down, nothing happens. Like,
those people are not ever cashing out those stocks. What part don't you get?
Oh, they already, don't they know that those stocks
You think someone that's got $500 billion in stocks is gonna care?
They're never gonna cash out.
They don't cash out. They take loans out. They take non-taxable loans out based on their stock value. Anybody can have stocks. Not if people don't have money.
How are you supposed to get a stock if you don't have money to buy it? And here's the thing. You guys have to realize this so they take out loans against these stocks. And when they pass away, the loans are then paid out, and all of the rest of the value of whatever stocks are left, there is somebody who's already set as a to inherit them. You can set on a stock so that the person who is inheriting it doesn't have to pay taxes on any stocks that they receive. Like, there's so many loopholes. You'd be surprised. If I had money to invest when I was younger and stuff, I'd be multimillionaire at this point. But unfortunately, here we are.
They cash out all the time. No, they sell on peaks to buy again right away.
Yep. So it just goes back into the market. It never comes out here to be spent so that the economy goes. Like, they sign off over all of these stock purchases, or all of their portfolios have a beneficiary attached to them. The first beneficiary is whomever they get all of their loans out against those portfolios, and the second beneficiary is their children. So their children get all of this wealth transferred to them tax-free. Like, what don't people understand here?
And no, they don't have to pay off. They don't pay off their loans ever. You don't get that. They take out loans on the loans to pay off the old loan, and then they just keep going. That is literally what these people are doing.
Yep. And you don't get taxed.
Sky is falling argument is old. I'm not saying a sky is falling. This is reality. This is what they're doing.
Yep. And if you look at how beneficiary laws work in multiple countries, that's how they make sure that this portfolio is then transferred to their family members in a way that it is not taxed, or it's minimally taxed. Like, do you not think they hire the best and the brightest of legal minds and tax minds in the country to make sure that they pay the least amount of everything and that their family members get as much of everything? Like, good Lord, you guys, like, wow.
Himsky, you're the only person complaining right now.
Yes,
you're complaining
because
only
we're speaking
one complaining.
Like, it baffles my mind, and that's why I said the only way I can see, and bearing in mind I do not have a master's or a doctorate in this, so there's definitely lots of people way more knowledgeable in this subject, but the only thing I can think of logically in my mind is to make sure that you cannot use your portfolios as collateral for purchasing anything or taking out any loans. Period. I know it's going to suck for all of us for all of us middle class people, if we do have 401ks and stuff, and they do take that into what is considered our assets when we go to purchase homes. But you know what? Whatever that effect, it's going to be minimal.
Or even better, you don't want to tax unrealized gains. Fine. Say that if you are taking out a loan, but you have the wealth to actually cover the loan you're taking out, you have to pay taxes on that loan.
Yep. And you can make it so that if people take out certain amounts of loans, unless they're tied to assets like homes or cars, there's a tax. There's so many. Clearly, like I said, I'm not a lawyer, and I'm not a CPA, and nor do I have a master's or anything like that in the subject. So bear in mind, these are just off the cuff and would need obviously people who are way more expertise than me to talk about. But there's so many little ideas we can come up with that you can run through people who do have expertise in this, that if they were valid and could be put in place, that should we vote in the right people, we could get put in place.
Very small,
not just Musk.
Very small number of people. You're right. A very small number of people do it.
Who have 99%
who
of the
have
wealth.
most of the wealth in the entire country.
99%
oh
of it.
my gosh.
Seriously, like, if you think it's just Elon, like, hello, do you know how many millionaires and billionaires, these are the things that they do? Like, are you...
They are not Democrats, bye. The second you said that, bye. piece of shit.
It's not exclusive to the United States. So when I say this argument, I'm saying it for Canada and so many other countries around the world, because it's not just exclusive to the US. Yes, you guys tend to have maybe a more corrupt version, sort of, but even then it's subjective, because in ours ours tends to be the grocery and
And
industry.
actually, you'd be surprised
Oh.
how many do exactly what we're talking about. It's not just the top. There are a
No.
lot of people that do exactly that. There are people that are just in the millionaire range that talk about how they do the exact same thing. Like,
Yep.
it's not as abnormal as you think.
Well, and we didn't even talk about life insurance policies
If
and
we
how
got
they
rid of
use
fraud and
those.
abuse, we wouldn't need any more tax dollars. False. Tax
Mm-hmm.
dollars pay for running the frickin' government and society. You like highways? Tax dollars pay for it. You like having a military at all? Tax dollars pay for it.
You like having food that isn't tainted with disease and stuff like that? Tax dollars pay for it. You like drinking clean water that doesn't have dysentery in it? Tax dollars pay for
You
it.
wouldn't have
Like-
taxes. Bullshit. Bullshit.
well, and you
We're
know what?
never going to get rid of all the fraud. We need to have
No.
people whose job it is to find the people that are like, we pay money to make sure we get to put people in place whose job it is to root out fraud. I'm all for getting rid of fraud, but to say that this administration isn't the biggest fraud of all, give me a break.
Did you see Marco Rubio try and say that he's never been in a meeting where Donald Trump fell asleep beside him? With a straight face, I was like, man, I don't know how you did that. I couldn't. I don't. And I'm like, and to say it in a place where you are perjuring yourself, I'm like, oh, man.
Not anymore. We wouldn't have plenty of tax dollars to do it. Not
No.
anymore. That's the part you don't get. We are paying $1 trillion a year on interest in a national debt that this administration is skyrocketing even more than he was.
That's because that's how billionaires roll. They take out loans on everything and then, just live their lives. So oh, well, and we haven't even talked about how they take life insurance, how they get life insurance policies and then take loans out on their life insurance. Like, there are so many tricks and things that people like. There are so many things that we could make legislation about that could be excluded from being allowed to be used as collateral. It's crazy.
This idea that it's been going on forever is a reason to not actually fix anything. We're telling you that this administration is going against everything not only he ran on, but he's making things worse. And your response is, it's been going on forever. No, let's actually fix the damn problem.
You know what? It's funny because I'm like, he's sitting there. That guy, the eagle, is sitting there on the Titanic right now. He's watching the iceberg in front of him. Well, the captain didn't turn in the ship, so like, I guess we're going into water. Like, whatever. You guys, like, do you not realize that America's now been declared insolvent? Insolvent.
Wait a second. How is asking for $400 million to build his ballroom trying to fix it? How is trying to get the money for his Arc de Trump fixing it? How is spending millions of dollars to paint the bottom of the reflecting pool fixing it? How is putting a UFC rink in the White House fixing it?
Yeah, like
it was tax dollars. He is asking right
Congress.
now, Congress, for $400 million to build the ballroom. That's the part you aren't seeing.
because you don't bother to read. So might I suggest a book or two in your life? Like, even I'm in Canada and even I know that. He's asked for $400 million. And the funny thing is, his number one priority under the ballroom is to build a state-of-the-art hospital. Gee, I wonder why he needs a state-of-the-art hospital, considering the White House already has a state-of-the-art medical facility in it and has for quite a number of years, I think since the 70s.
How
That being said.
is spending millions of dollars to change, to put his name on everything, helping make it better.
It's not. No, if he was spending that money on infrastructure projects and on
I don't think he wants the UFC ring to be permanent. I think he was saying that because he knows that his base will think it's hilarious. That was just a throwing it out there to get people angry and make his base happy.
honestly, I looked
wouldn't
at pictures of
be
what the White House
surprised,
looked
but-
like right now, and I was like, this is literally a picture of the epitome of the United States of America right now. Part of it in ruins, part of it still standing and looks like it's functioning, and then rednecks fighting on front lawn. Like I'm like, there is going to be sociologists studying this 50 years from now, and that is the picture they're going to use.
He said, I specifically made a video showing the part where he said, he said on video, if I don't reduce energy costs by 50% 1 year from today, he said that in April, I believe, you can be angry at me. Well, I hope everyone's angry at him because energy costs are not going down.
That's because he started a useless war that he could never possibly win. On top of it, the poor people of Iran, like...
He did not have it down until the war with Iran. Nope.
No.
It had been going up before that.
Oh, it did. But I'm just like, I feel...
No, that's what
every
he
time
said.
I think of it, my heart just...
He did not have it down. It had gone up.
He didn't have it down ever.
It had gone up anywhere from 15 to 30%. Gas prices were not down.
He said it on camera. He doesn't care about the financial situation of American people. He said that live on camera. He doesn't care about you. He's said that to you multiple times. He's told you he doesn't actually like you. Like, I don't understand why MAGA still supports him. He told you he likes you because you're stupid. He told you he doesn't actually care about you. Like, what? This is like the most abusive boyfriend you could possibly ever think of. And you sit there coming back again and again and telling all of us, well, he'll be better next time. No, he will never get better. He's only going to get worse. And the further he falls into frontal temporal dementia, the worse it's going to get. And the reason he's trying to push for all this money and get his ballroom built fast is to hide the hospital he's trying to build underneath it, so that he has a private hospital for when the inevitable starts to happen, and which we already are seeing is already happening. So it's too late. But, you know, like, I'm just like, the corruption is he's not even trying to hide it anymore.
No, because people like this person will literally stand up for him for everything. Why are you standing up for any person like this? The fact that anyone is supporting any person in office to the level that you guys are is wild to me. You say everyone's corrupt, but somehow this man who has a history of screwing over the people that do work for him through his entire career.
Yep.
Somehow this man cares? Give me a freaking break, dude.
Well, I was going to say, hey, dude with the eagle for his profile, have you actually ever read Trump's Art of the Deal? Like, have you read the book? I have.
No,
I read it
most
when I was
of
in my
employees
20s.
do not love him, and most of the contractors hate him.
Yep. I read the Art of the Deal. So I've actually read the Art of the Deal.
He screwed over thousands upon thousands of contractors, put tons of them out of business.
Because he had the money to take them to court, and they didn't have the money to continuously taking him to court to try and get the money that he owed them. And he knew it. Like, I'm like, you...
All the ones I have spoken to do. Yeah, well, you know what?
All the invisible people?
When you work for somebody who, if they hear you talk bad about him, will fire you, you would too.
Yep.
I mean, we literally have a man who's the Secretary of State who said that this was the worst guy ever. The Vice President of the fucking United States said that he is a never Trump guy and Trump is the worst, one of the worst people to ever be in politics. And now look at him. The fact that you even think that's a gotcha is wild to me.
Like,
No, he doesn't love him. None of them do. That's the point. You
No
don't seem
one
to
loved him.
understand how working for someone who's a narcissist and a baby works. Yeah.
His wife
They're-
doesn't either.
They're kissing up to him big time. They're kissing up to him big time.
The funny thing is, the only one not kissing up to Trump is Melania. Because she only shows up when she's paid for an event.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like,
Rubio, Cruz.
Dr. Oz.
A lot of people said a lot of crappy stuff about him, and there is no, and the turnaround had nothing to do with they just liked him all of the sudden. It's they wanted to hold on to the money and power that they had, and they said, oh well, if I kiss up to this guy because he loves it when people tell me things I want to hear, he will give us what he wants. That's why people are doing it. They don't like him. They
No one
know
likes
that
him.
he's such a baby and he's such a narcissist that if you tell him how amazing he is, he will let you do whatever the hell you want.
Yep. Like,
I mean, he's practically said it out loud that he literally will give stuff to people who say good things about him. There could be evidence in your face saying that what this person's saying is lying. That old man doesn't give a rat's ass as long as everyone praises him. The man had to put his freaking name on the Kennedy Center, for God's sakes.
and pave over Jackie O's rose garden to make it look like a parking lot. with
For no
cheap-
reason. Then he wanted his name on it.
Yep. And here's the interesting thing that I think I suspect Trump's going to start realizing as he deteriorates is that his name is going to be removed from absolutely everything that he or his family does not own from now until forever. And he's going to go down in history in the most hilarious way. Like it's just, I just like, look, his children don't even go and hang out with him unless they need something. His daughter just like basically disappeared after the election, and she's halfway across the world from him. I don't know if she ever even sees him. I doubt it. I
As
wouldn't.
though there aren't hundreds of live TikToks complaining. Give me a break, Harold. Grow
Well,
up, dude.
We have a right to complain. This is affecting our lives, our ability to
Yeah,
feed our
Like
children.
we don't have a right to talk about things that we see that are wrong.
Nope.
We just got to support him. That's all you got to do. He's got president from, because I know you guys felt the exact same way when Biden was in power. I know you
Just put
felt
this
that
wrong-
same way. Anytime anyone complained about Biden, you said, hey, he's the president. You can't complain about him. I know that's what you guys did.
He's the president. He gets to do whatever he wants and tell us whatever he wants, and we just got to eat that crow pie no matter what. Just swallow that down. No water needed. Just it could be dry as dust, but we just got to eat that sucker up.
Kat, here's the thing about progress. You look throughout it. You look throughout the centuries of progress around the globe. Before every move forward, there is a move backwards. Because the people that benefit from the way things currently are don't like the idea of a world that either doesn't make sense to them or doesn't benefit them in the way that current system benefits them. So they grab and they pull. The real question is how many of us will push back, and how soon will that happen? The
And
sooner
the
it
thing-
happens, the faster the change will happen.
Well, and the other thing is, if you're really paying attention, the ultra wealthy, most of whom, short of Trump are actually educated to some degree, know this, which is why they're building underground bunkers and all sorts of other stuff, or they bought properties outside of the United States. So the ultra wealthy know what's coming. They know. Why do you think they've already got their backup plans in place for places to be?
Why do you think Peter Thiel ran to Argentina?
Right? Like, well, why do you think Ivanka and her husband are in, I don't know, wherever the hell they are now, outside the United States? Because they know. They know.
I think I'm Napoleon. I do not think I'm Napoleon. No, not only am I not French, but I'm also 6'2".
I don't understand the reference to you being Napoleon. I don't get it.
Albania,
yes.
Thinks I have a Napoleon complex.
Please put in the comments what Napoleon complex means, because I don't think you understand what it means. You keep using that word, but I don't think you know what it means.
You keep using that word. I do not think it means what you think it means.
I know. Best line. I'm going to say one of the top 5 best lines in a movie ever. Like, but this is fault. Like,
well, I'm not Italian either, Jeremiah.
And you know what? We as a people have a right to ask for a reasonably livable life where our basic needs are met in a way that we can live with some semblance of happiness and excitement. I think in 2026 that can be an expectation for us, where we expect healthcare, a home to live in, safe streets to be on, like food, clean water, clean air, like education. I feel like in 2026, asking for those things to be provided in your society should not be a wild take. And anybody who thinks they are, I'm sorry that you live in the reality that you live in. I feel really bad for you.
And it's funny, this idea that things are great and they can't get any better, or the only way they can get better is to go back to the way things were. That is so antithetical to how not only this country, but the world has worked for its entire existence.
Yeah. Yep.
Is wild to me.
Can you imagine if we all of a sudden decided we just wanted to go back to having like no sewer systems and no clean water? Like, anybody want to go back to times where dysentery was a thing? Like, I'm like, there's so many things. I'm like, why would you want to go back in the past? I'm like, we lived the lives we lived,
David,
even though
people invading this country is the only reason this country exists in the first place.
And David, what are you talking about invading this country?
Talking about immigrants.
I was going to say, I'm like, I thought you guys had the most secure borders, the biggest, bestest, most secure borders in the world. Wasn't it Trump's whole thing? And you know what? Immigrants are important.
No, it was invaded. This country and people on it existed before any white-skinned people walked on this continent. So don't pretend that it's anything other than what it was.
David, your ancestors invaded this country and took land and resources from the people who were actually here.
Not war.
No.
Just took it.
Yep. Just took it, or signed treaties that they never honored. Fill in the blank here.
I'm fine with that called reality. No, the reality is you're a piece of shit. That's the reality.
And you're fine with it when it benefits you, but not when it benefits. I read lots of books. You, unfortunately, clearly don't read any. Because if you did, you would know that Indigenous people were all throughout North America way before any of our ancestors ever got here.
Daniela, don't tell me to fucking calm down. This is my life. Grow up.
Yeah. Well, she told me to read a book. The irony.
Mike, take a chill pill. Come on. Yeah.
That was awesome. What?
My college class, we bought Arizona and Mexico. Google it.
How you burn just Arizona and Mexico? What?
Wait, I gotta go.
Settle down, Cupcake. I'm an alpha man.
Oh my gosh. Like, seriously, like, I know education is different state versus state, but like, even I know these things, and I'm in Canada. Like, come on. Like, like, oh my gosh. These people are so wild. They have no idea. And I
And
guarantee
again,
they've
it's
never
what
read a
happens
history
when you
book.
lack empathy and humanity, because again, it doesn't matter. These are people. These are human beings, living, breathing human beings that have value.
And it's very well documented how Canada and the US treated Indigenous people. Like, how the governments, forget the people that also came here and stole, treated Indigenous peoples. Like, oh my God, go watch Dr. Quinn. I don't even expect you to read a book. Go watch Dr. Quinn. At least then you can see what a version of what reality kind of sort of looked like. I don't expect reading a book that's above your level.
Ah, devil dog. Are you getting in your little D energy right now? Yeah, I need to tell people to shut up because I got nothing. I don't even have a picture on my screen. That's how dumb I am.
It gives micro D energy. Micro D. Micro D. Micro D. Micro D. like, like, I'm sorry that you feel inadequate in all areas of your life. You should work on that. Like, what did we give back to Mexico? I don't know.
Again,
honestly, like,
you don't have to agree with me. None of you do. I don't expect you to. But don't pretend that we don't know what the hell we're talking about just because you think you do. So Indians were saints.
It's Indigenous people.
Clay, regardless of that, yes. But regardless of that, Clay, how would you react if someone just walked in
to
your house and took over your living room? Didn't take over your entire house, just took over your living room.
And then they went in and went into your fridge and started eating all your food, went through your cupboard, started eating that too. Then they went and used your toilet and smeared everything all over the walls instead of being an actual proper guest.
No,
like,
it's not a crappy analogy. That's literally what happened. We landed, we just started building on their land and then started pushing them out.
And don't forget, we brought our diseases with us, intentionally spread them to them with the intention of unaliving all of them because it was easier than trying to negotiate. The only ones who came to America who actually, and you can look this up, this is historical data, Pennsylvania was founded by Quakers. The land was given by the French king to, I don't remember his name, but he landed there, and even though it was technically legally his because the French king said so, or the king said so, he actually negotiated a treaty with the indigenous people living there and paid them his whole entire life to stay there because he believed it was their land and they owned it, and he created you can look this up. This is just facts, not feelings.
We literally pushed them into their own little tiny spaces
called reservations. And if you look up history, then
conquering happens, honey. Grow the fuck up. Why do you think might makes right? Why do you lack the comprehensive ability to get out of your tiny D and realize that humans are humans and we don't deserve to treat other people like that? You are a small man who does not have the ability to see past his tiny little eyes and his tiny little D. Get the fuck out of my life.
And if by conquering you mean giving them blankets filled with typhus, going in and raiding their camps and massacring them, are you serious? Like, I mean, these history books are not even hard to find. I guarantee if you went to a used bookstore, there's papers I'm sure printed online you could read. Like the history is not. You could watch Dr. Quinn if you want to instead. There's so many things you could do. Like
Again,
like
it's 2026. What's happened has happened. The past is done. We are living in the current world we live in. Stop justifying all the bad that is going on right now because we've done it before or that just kind of happens. No, it doesn't.
no, it doesn't.
We're supposed
And
to
even
be
if
fucking better than this now.
And even if that was the case, we have the ability to stop it from continuing to happen because I don't know, I'd like to think that I'm a good person and that I want better not just for my kids, but all children on the planet. Isn't that weird? On the planet, not just my own kids. Because you know what? Every child on this planet deserves quality education, clean water, clean air, a place to live, education, medical services. Not just mine, all of them. Even Maga's children. Like all of them. Like I don't understand how we came to a place where so many people
Matt Walsh. Oh my gosh.
What?
That's right. That's right. Watch a video by one of the largest pieces of shit on the planet who is a white nationalist for the real history of the Native American Indian. Oh my lord. A
What?
white man does not know what the fuck they're talking about.
And on top of it, I guarantee he didn't actually read any historical documents when citing anything he had to say.
Jeez,
Freaking
that's about as dumb as the people that are saying that slavery was good for black people.
Oh my so excuse me, what?
Yeah, the what is it? That ultra conservative Christian nationalist university thing made
Oh,
one of
the
their
one they're trying to bring here.
PragerU, whatever it's called.
Yeah. They're trying to bring that here.
Yeah.
And
They actually
they're-
tried to make an argument that slavery was good for black people because it gave them skills.
do you know what the argument here is that they're trying to use?
No.
Residential schools were good for indigenous people. Residential schools were good for indigenous people. That was the argument they were trying to make here. And I was like, what are you going to say the potato famine was good for Irish people? Like what planet do you live on? And it wasn't a famine, it was a genocide. So let's call it a spade a spade. It was a G-side. That's what the English did to the Irish. Like, please don't even try to argue with me on that. My Irish heritage will come out and you will see it. But I'm like, even if all of what we should be doing is looking at all of these things that happen throughout history, and moving forward with the intention to try and make amends and be different. Like I hate to say it.
Well, and again,
reparations are important.
How did people that look like me get around the humanity of what they did to Native Americans? They called them savages. That's how. They didn't listen to them. They didn't care about what they were angry about. They just started calling them savages to dehumanize them, to make it okay to do what they were doing.
Yep.
That's what they're doing to immigrants. That's what they're doing to members of the LGBTQIA community. It's what they're doing again to black people.
Yep.
It's what they're doing to people that vote for people that are on a different side of the aisle that they are. You dehumanize. That you guys are literally falling into the same playbook that allows the worst of the worst, people like that guy who ran Germany in the 1930s, do what he did by dehumanizing people.
Yep. They were not.
And even if they were, they are still human beings.
And Oob, where are you getting that information? Who documented this information? Are you not realizing that maybe the source of this information had
Was
an
white people?
intention? Yeah, had an intention to make them look in a certain way and, you know, maybe lie, because there's lots of documentation about a lot of different cultures around the world from written from the perspective of the colonizer that makes the place that's colonized, the people living there, not look
there are
respectable.
there are plenty of
So-
historians out there that have talked about how we have glorified a lot of our founding fathers to things that they actually weren't. How,
Yeah.
you know, like Washington was somehow this absolutely amazing person. Was he the worst person in humanity? I mean, there's a lot of people that probably are below him in the worst, but don't pretend that he was somehow good.
No. Nope. And that goes the same here in Canada. John A. Macdonald is the same. It's no different here. I wish I could say it was different, but it wasn't. And that's why I said, I'm like, it is important to start reparations, because the only way to move forward united, where we all stand together, is to make reparations for what has been done. Because you know what, that wound will never heal if we don't acknowledge it, we don't do anything about it, we don't like, and we continue to sit there opening it again and again and again and again.
The
It never
Trail
goes.
of Tears is a lie. Okay.
What?
Okay.
Yes, all the history books, all the it's all a lie. It's all a lie. We magically just warped over
Everything's a
here and
lie.
like
Yeah,
everything's a lie.
reparations.
Yes.
Again, this is the thing, and you can always tell who are the privileged people that don't realize how privileged they are. They
Yep.
think that reparations aren't necessary because they
They
don't
absolutely
realize what it's like to grow up in one of those kinds of marginalized communities, whether you're a Native American or an Indigenous American or a Black person.
Yep.
They don't get it. They think it just has to do with life is difficult. It's more than just life is difficult. And
No,
that's
we're
the part.
talking
We're talking they
hundreds of
don't have,
years.
without some massive luck, a majority of people in those communities have no chance of making the kind of life that a lot of us who look like me get.
Yep.
They have no chance. It is not possible. That's the part that you don't get. You've never
It's well, and the thing is, you're talking hundreds of years of not just oppression and abuse, and I could come up with a bazillion adjectives. The emotions that have been passed on, the stories that have been passed on, and then on top of it, you know, all of us people who look like me and you brought alcohol and all sorts of other stuff to all of that area to just fuel on fire all of the emotions that have been pent up because of that. Forget all of the race, the R word.
We're being controlled by the system,
Which system?
the Matrix.
What system?
The Matrix.
Oh, the Matrix?
Yeah.
Well, hey, Agent Smith, I've been asking for a glitch in the system to rewrite this timeline for a while now. You suck at your job. That's all I'm going to say.
All
You
right, guys.
suck.
I went 49 minutes over. I wasn't planning on going, but we were just talking, and I didn't even realize
We were
what time
having
it was.
fun.
Yeah. Guys, thank you for hanging out. Thank you for everyone that came up. Thank you for all the conversation. I hope you guys have an amazing weekend. I'll be back on Monday, and we'll see what kind of shit show we've got between now and then. Get out, get some sun,
Yes.
do something fun, because remember, joy is also a form of resistance.
Protest.
A wake up call is coming. You know, I've been hearing that for about 30 years now.
What wake up call?
I don't know.
Wait.
Anyways, you guys are amazing, just the way you are, and I love you all very
Bye.
much. Stay safe, stay healthy. Remember to sing, laugh, dance, smile. Do something that makes you happy. Bye, guys.